Hey everyone, it is Wellness Wednesday, and today we're going to be talking about our emotional health. When we think about our health, most of the time we think about the physical characteristics of our well-being. But the truth is, it's not just the physical attributes that are important to our overall health. I'm Christina Huseman. I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate, and I'm excited to be sharing with you about the aromatherapy line today. So as we get started, let's just talk about what we experience as humans. As humans, we know that at any given time, we are all a ball of emotions, usually experiencing one or two at the same time, sometimes three or four. Sometimes we're mad, sad, angry, just a whole big ball of emotions. And emotions are complex internal reactions, and I'm going to try to break that down for you, but they differ from person to person, and that's because of our different backgrounds, how we were raised, our different life experiences, maybe age, race, ethnicity. All of that plays a role in how each of us respond to and cope with our emotions. And we know that emotions can be positive and can lead to a better well-being and quality of life, because let's face it, when we're happy, when we feel on top of the world, our quality of life is high. When we have negative emotions on the opposite side, those can ultimately take a toll on our body. Negative emotions being bitterness, sadness, anger. If you feel lonely and depressed, then ultimately those tend to wear on your body physically if they're not dealt with properly. So I'm going to talk about some of those today. I want to kind of recap something that I went over last week in the gut health. And I mentioned that our gut is like our second brain. And really, we usually think that we only have two brains. Scientists are starting to believe and kind of promote that we have three brains: our mind, our heart, and our gut. And all three work together for overall wellness. So just keep that in mind as I go through this, because each of those three respond to emotions differently. So today we're going to talk about aromatherapy and how that relates to emotions and to our overall health. Ancient civilizations, we know, used essential oils for their emotional health and well-being. Civilizations like Greece, Rome, China, India, all of those used them in cooking practices, ceremonial practices. And just right off the top of my head, frankincense is a primary example used in ceremonies and rituals to help kind of invoke peace and relaxation. And then oftentimes, before battle, soldiers will use fennel because it helps them feel strong and promotes bravery and courage. So that's just two that are kind of examples of how essential oils are used for your emotions. Only until the 20th century did the word aromatherapy really evolve. That's a new word that scientists are beginning to use to support the idea that essential oils really do help with mood management and our emotional benefits. So, I like to throw a little science in there for those science gurus out there. So here it is. First, we have our body is made up of cells, very intelligent cells that have receptors on them, lots of little receptors. And what those receptors do is when chemicals enter the body, they take those in, process it, and then a reaction occurs. And when I said that all three of the brains of the body, the mind, the heart, and the stomach, respond differently, that's because the cells in each of those parts of the body process those chemical reactions differently. Now, let's talk about the olfactory system. That's when you inhale, there is a response, and that goes through kind of your nose, what you smell. And that system is then linked to the limbic system, which is the frontal lobe of your brain. And that's where your memory and your experiences are stored. For those of you who are not science gurus, let me kind of put that into perspective for you. Imagine walking into a restaurant or a friend's house and they're cooking something. Like, for me, it's sausage or bacon, biscuits or cake. That takes me back to my childhood when my granny used to cook big Sunday dinners, or when my mom cooks for me. That gives me a very positive feeling. Or you're riding down the road and you have the window down and you smell fresh cut grass. Immediately you're taken to maybe a cool summer day where you've just cut grass and you're a kid playing out in that grass. Or another big one is, have you ever driven through a neighborhood and you smell a charcoal grill? And we all know what feelings are evoked when you smell that, right? Yes, there's going to be a throwdown. There's going to be good food and laughter and fun. So those are, that is kind of the mystery behind our limbic system and the sense of smell. So I'm really hinting towards the use of the aromatic use of essential oils, because when we smell things, immediately it goes to our limbic system, and that immediately ignites a response. It brings up a memory and causes us to feel some type of emotion. So one of the many benefits of using essential oils to support our emotions is that they can calm, soothe, and uplift in a natural way. We know that doTERRA's essential oils are natural aromatic compounds that are found in plants. And essential oils have a different chemistry in them. They're made up different chemistry, and I'm going to touch on that in a minute. But the part I want to highlight here is that quality matters. doTERRA has the certified pure therapeutic grade standard, and they have the highest quality on the market today. And that's important because when you're using the most pure and the most potent essential oil, you only need a little bit. Smaller doses and more at a time. So one drop, but more often. Consistency is the key with essential oils, even when we're talking about our emotional health. And your next question is probably, okay, we get that the oil needs to be pure, it needs to be potent, but what oil do I use if I'm feeling sad? What oil do I use if I need some motivation? Or what if I've just lack passion and drive? Or maybe I'm grieving? What oil do I use? I'm glad you asked. And because of the complexity of that answer, I'm going to delve into doTERRA's aromatherapy line. And I already alluded to that a little bit, but this is one of my favorite kits with doTERRA, and for many reasons, but mainly because significant research went into the essential oils that are in each blend to help with the emotional response that we want to receive. So a little more science here for those science gurus. Each essential oil has a unique chemical profile. Remember, I said that emotions are chemicals also, and our receptors pick up on those emotions and they create a reaction. Essential oils also have a chemical profile, so both of those two chemicals can be paired together for the appropriate response. Meaning the chemical makeup of the essential oil will determine its attributes, benefits, and what kind of chemical response it'll produce. So in essence, if I need a boost of energy, or I need to feel uplifted, or I want to start my day in a positive mood, I might reach for a mint or a citrus oil. If I need to calm myself down, on the opposite, I will choose maybe a floral or a root oil like a tree oil or grass or herb to kind of give me that grounding or calming property that I want. So here's where you're going to take out a notepad and jot down some notes. We're going to go through the 6 blends in the aromatherapy line. They are Motivate, Cheer, Passion, Forgive, Console, and Peace. So we're going to start and end with 2 of my absolute favorites. Motivate, here it is. Motivate was part of the BOGO last week, so I hope you all took advantage of it. And if you haven't, I really want to encourage you to use it this week. But let me tell you about it. Motivate is the encouraging blend. It promotes feelings of confidence, courage, and belief. So it's a blend of peppermint, clementine, coriander, basil, melissa, and vanilla. And the melissa here is important because it's phenomenal for emotional calming. This combination is important because it includes mints and citrus oils. That means they're high in ketones and monoterpenes. And remember, I just said that each oil has a chemical constituents in it, a chemical profile. Those are important. You can Google that on your own. I'm not going to really delve into that on this video, but whether an oil has a ketone, a monoterpene, a phenol, an ester, an oxidide. Those are important because those elicit different responses in our brain, in our heart, and in our gut. But Motivate will help aid with feelings of anxiousness, insecurity, apathy, discouragement, or gloominess. It counteracts doubt and pessimism. So I absolutely love this oil for motivation. I use it all the time. Sometimes I'll use it as a perfume or just rub it on my wrist so that I constantly smell it as I'm working. But if I definitely need to get something done and checked off my to-do list, that is my go-to oil. Next is Cheer. And this is the uplifting blend. This also was a part of BOGO Week, so I recommend throwing Cheer in your backpack, your purse, wherever you go, take Cheer with you. It is like sunshine in a bottle. And you never know who's going to steal your joy throughout the day. We know that happiness sometimes can be there 1 minute and gone the next. So take your Cheer with you and apply it throughout the day whenever you need it. But it's awesome for promoting feelings of optimism, cheerfulness, happiness. If you're going to diffuse it, it's awesome to start the day diffusing Cheer because it promotes that uplifting, positive environment. So it's a good one to diffuse first thing in the morning. But it's a blend of wild orange, clove, star anise, nutmeg, and vanilla. And that's important because those citrus oils and spices are high in monoterpenes and phenols. So like I said, they're very good for lifting you up, especially if you feel like blue or just like down in the dumps or heavy-hearted. Cheer is a good one to help lift your spirits. Next is Passion. Here is Passion for you guys. I love Passion as well. I probably don't use it as much as I should, but I absolutely love it. It's the Inspiring Blend, and this is for those days when maybe you forget your purpose or you're struggling with your why, or why am I doing this? Why am I here? And Passion is great to use because it adds joy and creativity and excitement and enthusiasm to your life. It's a wonderful blend of cardamom, cinnamon, clove, sandalwood, ginger, and jasmine, all of which are spices, herbs, and grasses high in esters, oxidides, sequesterpenes, and phenols. So all good for promoting that joy and creativity. That is a good one to apply over your heart if you're really struggling with just needing a little bit of enthusiasm or joy throughout the day. The next one is Forgive. And here is Forgive. I have Forgive in a roller bottle because I like to use it on the kids, and we know that the touch oils, the ones that comes in the roller balls that have the little touch word on them, have been scientifically diluted with fractionated coconut oil to be safe for everyone in the family. So I like to keep that one in a roller ball. But it is the Renewing Blend, and it is for those days where you need to just let go of some emotions. Maybe you're dealing with sadness or anger. Maybe you're feeling ashamed or bitter, and you're just holding on to that. This blend is sourced from trees, grasses, herbs such as spruce, bergamot, juniper berry, myrrh, and arborvitae. And this oil is really great to apply if you need to maybe forgive yourself or forgive others, and to let go of bitterness and guilt. I'll give you a little more scientific knowledge here that you can research, but oftentimes when we harbor feelings of guilt or bitterness, just kind of let that get festered up inside, it ends up resonating in other parts of our body. Those emotions specifically end up in the liver and the kidneys and kind of plague those areas of our body. So applying Forgive and helping with some affirmations to just release that bitterness and just give forgiveness and forgive yourself and just let go of those is really good because it ends up healing other parts of your body. Remember I said that an emotion is a chemical reaction. It's a chemical, and our cells, they receive that chemical in and then they interpret it. So applying those oils in different areas, maybe in different pulse points, specifically over your heart, behind the ears, and that soft little lobe behind your ears so that it gets directly into the brainstem. Pulse points on your wrists or in the elbows is real important. And that oil is great for just giving yourself a sense of patience or relief and contentment. So that's an awesome oil to use. Next is Console, and Console is the comforting blend. This is a real beautiful blend to help us feel that warm blanket kind of security around us, and especially if we're dealing with hardships or grieving, or if we're hurt, worried, maybe we've lost a loved one, lost a fur baby, or just really going through a tough time. Console is an awesome oil to use. Here it is. It comes with that little purple little label. This is a blend of frankincense, which we know is a powerful oil for calming the body on a cellular level. Also has patchouli, ylang ylang, and sandalwood in it. And when applied, it can promote feelings of comfort, hope, and it can, if you diffuse it, it's really powerful to diffuse during times of loss, specifically to comfort the soul and to kind of counteract grief and sadness and hopelessness. So that's an awesome oil to keep around in case you come in contact with somebody that's just feeling down or blue, or going through a real tough time in their life. And lastly, I said we were going to end with another of my favorites. This is Peace. I'll have to tell you a little story about Peace. I absolutely love this blend. You all know that my son's name is Solomon, and in Greek, the Greek form of his name is Shalom, and that means peace. And so when we were selecting his name and really doing some research, Mark and I were just really busy, both in each of our careers. We were running all the time, and we had Bristol, who is very young, and she's only 1. And so we used to jokingly say we needed some shalom in our lives. We needed a little peace in our life. And don't we all? Isn't life just so busy that sometimes you just need a little peace? And this blend is great for that. It's the Reassuring blend, and it's a combination of florals and mints, and those help promote peace and contentment. It also helps with feelings of anxiousness or fearful emotions like worry, fear, anxiety, or maybe insecurities. All of those probably reasons why this oil really resonates with me. But it's a blend of vetiver, lavender, ylang ylang, frankincense, clary sage, and marjoram. And as a bonus, I'm going to give you another little tip. I'm also going to post this after the video in the comments. But reflexology plays a huge role in maximizing the benefit from essential oils. And so because I love Peace so much, we generally use it for Mark and I both to calm us, or we diffuse it at nighttime to kind of promote that sense of relaxation or calmness. But putting it on the end of your big toe can have significant benefits, especially for our brain and our brain health. The end of your big toe, like the tip of it, is linked to your brain health. And so when you apply it there and you just massage it in and you imagine your brain just releasing those worries and anxious thoughts or those fears, a sense of peace and contentment will just come over you. So think about that the next time, and maybe try some of the pulse points I'm going to post at the end of this video. But most definitely with Peace, applying it to your brain, to your big toe so that it affects your brain is really beneficial, because oftentimes our brain is where those chemical responses, those emotions start, and once our brain processes it, then it goes to our heart and it becomes a belief, and then we just believe that this is the way life is, and then it goes to our third brain, down to our gut, where we might just have stomach issues and problems. We have an upset stomach, and that's not what you want. So I really love Peace for that benefit. And now, just to kind of conclude and wrap things up, that's all 6 oils in the aromatherapy line. I hope it is sold as a kit, or you can purchase them all individually, but I hope that you will take advantage of those if you haven't yet. If you have used them and you have a favorite, post it in the comments and tell me why you like that particular blend. But I really hope that you will take advantage of those, because our emotional health can often be something that we dismiss and we don't put a lot of effort into, and it can have some significant physical consequences when we just let it go without properly handling those emotions. But to kind of conclude, just remember that you do have the three brains: your mind, your heart, and your gut. That's why oftentimes, you may say, well, my mind's telling me to do this, but my heart's telling me to do this. Or my heart says do this, but I just got this gut feeling that I need to do this. That is because all three respond differently to those emotional chemical responses that are happening in our body. So just remember that. I've covered gut health before and some proactive things that you can do in a previous video. And so if you want to go back and watch that, I really encourage you to do that. But I also want to go over just the kind of foundational support that you need, and that's your Lifelong Vitality supplements. I can't urge you enough that if you are not on a daily regimen of getting the minerals, the nutrients, the omega fatty acids that we need, that we do not get in our modern day diets, I really encourage you to do that, because once you have that foundational support, your body can really heal from the inside out. And then it has all the tools that it needs to be able to use essential oils to help just boost that optimal health that you want. So I really encourage you to just go back and look at those two videos, and I hope that you will, again, take advantage of the essential oils. If you took advantage of the BOGOs and you have Motivate and Cheer, try to use them this week. Pull them out and use them whenever you just need a little uplifting boost or you need some motivation. Also, I want to point out that I have a class this Thursday. That's tomorrow, 6 p.m. at Bread and Butter Bakery in Covington. If you are new to essential oils, I really encourage you to come. This will be a 101, which is a basic class, an introductory level class. If you know somebody that could benefit from essential oils, share with them and bring them. Anyone who brings a friend gets a free gift from me. And I love to have regular oil users come and add their knowledge, or maybe you have questions and we can talk through your questions. But I also wanted to, just in closing today, let you guys know that I do a lot of research for these videos, because I want to make sure, one, that my education is where it needs to be, and that I can give you kind of the correct and most cutting edge education that's out there. And I want you to kind of take what I say and maybe look into it a little further and do your own research. And so I kind of want to point out some of the tools that I use. I am going to post a link to the ebook on doTERRA's website for Essential Emotions. And that's just kind of a reference guide for you if you want to look back and kind of read more about some of the things I talked about. I also want to point out that if you have the ability to get an Emotions and Essential Oils book, this is an older version. This is the 5th edition. They've come out with a new edition. So either one, I really encourage you to get that. You could get this off Amazon or one of the other essential oil tool websites, or maybe even the Essential Oils wheel. This is a wheel with lots of emotions that we experience throughout our lives, many like maybe throughout the day, and they give you suggestions on which oils, based on their chemical constituents, which oils to use for those emotions. And I mentioned both of these two for the simple fact that I want you to feel empowered. I want you to know what oil to use, or to be able to have the resources at your fingertips to look up what you're experiencing and know what to try. Also, I mentioned that I love Motivate and Peace. Those blends do it for me. They may not do it for you. Each one of us was created uniquely and differently, and so an oil that works in my body a certain way may have an opposite effect in your body. That doesn't mean that you need to give up or quit trying, and that doesn't mean that's the only option. When I say that citrus oils are uplifting, let me just name off some citrus oils for you so that you can get the point. There's Elevation, Citrus Bliss, Lemon, Lime, Grapefruit. Slim and Sassy is part of our citrus line, Bergamot. And so, that whole array of essential oils could give you a different effect depending on which one you use. So do not give up if the first one you try doesn't give you the desired effect that you want. Keep trying. Maybe take advantage of one of these resources so that it'll help you kind of know what's available and what to try. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments, or like I said, if you have used the aromatherapy line and you have a favorite, one of the blends is your favorite, post it and post why you use it or why it's your favorite. So thank you for joining in, and I will post around Monday what the next Wellness Wednesday topic will be. Stay tuned this weekend too. You might get a quick live video from my husband who uses essential oils I talk about more often, but he has a race in Atlanta this weekend, and so he's anxious to share about some of the products he's been using to prepare for his race. So you guys look for that. That'll be a fun treat, and I hope you all have a happy Wednesday.